Hey, what's up guys, Cal here, and this video is on part 2 of the Pickems of ELEAGUE Boston 2018, and that would be the group stage. The group stage is definitely more important than the prelims because as you can see right here, the prelims you only get 1 point per correct pick, but the group stage you get 3 points per correct pick, so you definitely need a good amount of teams in the group stage. So yeah, let's get right into it. Quickly before we get into the group stage predictions, let's actually take a look at how we did in the prelims. Personally, I think I did okay, I guess. And yeah, so the phase 3-0, I'm not really sweating that because well, 90% of the community picked phase as 3-0 and they got upset by fucking Vegas Squadron. Good job on Vegas Squadron for beating phase. But it's a pretty pathetic way to lose your undefeated rank. But again, since it was such an upset, I'm not really sweating that. It's not my fault. It wasn't a completely horrendous pick. On the other hand, Quantum, I'm not really sweating it either, even though they actually made it into the group stage. It's pretty pathetic that a team as low as Quantum made it in there, but the reason is they beat Flash, which is another shitty team. So that's what screwed me over in the beginning. But then they beat Envious with a coach, and the coach is really bad at the game. No offense. So obviously they beat Envious with the coach, and then they beat Avangar, another shitty team, to get into the major. So I'm not really sweating this complete mess up here because it was just really an upset, and the Swiss system fucked me over on that one. As for the rest of the picks, I actually think I did really good. If you watched my last video, which is on the prelim picks, I said that these 7 teams I would put in the order of confidence, as in I was confident, the most confident that Cloud9 would make it, and I was confident that Renegades would make it, but it was the least confident out of all these teams. And I actually did a really good job of ranking them like that because Cloud9 made it 3-0, and I was the most confident. G2, second most confident, also made it 3-0. Navi and Mouse Sports made it 3-2. Pretty decent. Some upsets and some shaky games, but in the end they made it and we got the points. And then Space Soldiers making it 3-1. Kind of surprising because we didn't really know how they would do on LAN against tier 1 teams, but they only lost once and they showed a great performance. So, yeah, in conclusion, prelims we got 5 out of 9 points, and that's okay. So I will take it and not really gonna sweat any of these fuck ups because they're only 1 point, and a lot of these fuck ups were not really my fault. Alright, guys, so here are my picks for the group stages, and they're on your screen right now. If you want to copy all of them, or if you want to copy some of them, it's perfectly fine. But I will be explaining each and every one of these picks and why I picked them. So if you want to stick around and hear these, just to make sure that you're safe, I guess, then go ahead and stick around. So I'm going to skip explaining this 301, and I'm going to go to 03. I'll come back to this one, but I just want to get a bunch of things clear before I come back to Gambit and why I picked them for the 3-0. So for 03, it's pretty simple explanation. I know they upset many teams in the well, actually they didn't even upset many teams. The only reason they're in the group stage is because they played bad teams only. So yeah, the reason I picked 03 is pretty self-explanatory. They are just the worst team in the group stage, and I don't think they could really beat anybody. Their first match is against VP. I'm sure VP will beat them, even though VP sometimes does look really shit. So yeah, Quantum for 03. For the remaining 7 teams, I also have them order of confidence. So as in phase, I am the most confident that they will make it through to the playoffs. And Fnatic, I think they will make it through, but I am the least confident. And I picked phase here because, well, they're, in my opinion, the #1 team in the world, even though HLTV says that will be SK. And SK actually have a stand-in, which would be Phelps, because their roster says they have bolts, but since roster locks happen, they have to play with Phelps. So they may or may not be at a disadvantage here, and I would put them, at least in this major, below phase. And obviously coming up next would be SK. I kind of explained why they're second and not first, but they're still a great team, and even with Phelps, I'm sure they can do a lot. So that's why I put them in second. Australis, uh, probably third best team in this group stage. They made some changes, and Device just, I think, finished recovered from being sick. So I don't know if that's a disadvantage or not. Maybe their changes made them better. Maybe Device is fine and his sickness won't really cripple him. So I put them at third. G2, they looked pretty strong in the prelims, even though they only played kind of shitty teams. Overall, pretty confident they'll make it through. If they don't, then they got upset. And same thing with Cloud9. They haven't made it through to playoffs in a while, but they looked really strong in the prelims, and I do believe that this NA super team will make it through. And now for these last two, they were kind of just wild card draws. The other team I was thinking of would be North and VP. There are two teams, I guess. But I ended up picking Mouse and Fnatic, and that is because I think Mouse has a lot of potential. I think it was ECS finals. They brought FaZe on their knees and almost beat them in the finals, but FaZe still won. And my point is that Mouse can be really strong, and I feel like they might be like 3-2 or something, and I think they'll still make it through. And Fnatic, we haven't seen them on LAN that much, but they played in both ECS finals and ESL Pro League finals, and I think they actually beat FaZe there once, and they beat a bunch of teams. They look pretty convincing, and actually, it's a running trend that they never bomb out of groups and in the majors. So I think that trend will continue, and I will put Fnatic here as kind of a wild card draw, and hope they make it out of the group stage. Now, for why I picked Gambit for 3-0, some of you guys might be calling me crazy. I bet many of you guys will have FaZe in here or SK in here, maybe Australis G2 or Cloud9. But getting points in the group stage is really important, and each correct pick earns 3 points, as you can see right here, and that's a pretty big number. So why I put Gambit in 3-0 basically revolves around the theory that you get more guaranteed points if you have the strong teams like FaZe and SK in these 7 teams right here. So you just pick a team that has the potential to 3-0 and also has the potential to bomb out of groups. And I think Gambit is kind of like that. They actually 3-0'd in the PGL major, but since their roster changes and since their semi-inconsistency, they might even bomb out of groups. And I think another team, or two other teams that have this potential are Cloud9 and G2. Cloud9 and G2. You could also put Mouse in here. I was considering putting Mouse in here, but I don't know, because the first matchup is against Australis, and that one's kind of tough. And for Gambit, their first matchup is against Navi, and Navi have not been showing that much promise. So I think they will win the first one, and they do have a pretty good chance of upsetting and winning 2 more. So yeah, guys, these are my picks. And if you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, leave them down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. And if you want to see any more CSGO content, I also upload other video games. Go ahead and check them out on my channel and subscribe if you enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.